it's St. Patrick's Day and I did not go out because I was going to, but then it's raining and I'm not going outside because I don't like that. I'm not too good, no. But I did wear green, yay, green, which I'm mildly embarrassed to admit was planned. That's something that I do. I'm like, now that you know, you'll watch out for it. I don't know, it's something left over from when I was in school, and I just feel like I have to plan things like that, like wear green on St. Patrick's Day and wear, I don't know, red or pink or hearts on Valentine's Day. But then I always feel like I have to do it in a really subtle way so that people who see me don't think I did it on purpose. I don't know. My brain's really weird. But now you all know, which will make me feel even more self-conscious about it. But if you watch this and remember, you can look for it. Except in Christmas, because I'm all for the tacky Christmas sweaters and don't really care what people think. So, that's okay. I know you guys are probably going to start to get really bored with my knitting, but I'm just really excited about it because I wanted to knit, like, you know, for the past few years, because Gardner's really into it, and he's really good, and he just makes it look easy, but at the same time really hard, because I'm like, I can never knit that, and I want to. I have a little bit of knitting envy. I don't think I've ever admitted that either, so just all about confessions today. But I'm still working on my bag, and people see me knitting it, and they're like, what is that? And I'm like, it's a bag, and it doesn't look like a bag, so they get confused. I looked online to see about the straps, like how to make a strap that won't break with knitting, and I found this, and I knit it in a tube, and it does not look good on the camera, but I'm quite proud of it, so yeah, I know it doesn't look perfect, but it's just really exciting, you know, because I thought, like, at Christmas, just learning how to do the basic knit stitch again was more, well, not the knit stitch, but the knit purls and not drop and add stitches and make it not look terrible. That was, like, way harder than I thought it would, and I was like, oh, I'll never be able to do anything. I'll just be making, like, this simple stitch forever. But that's not how it's working now. Like, I'm like, okay, I'll just doing it one step at a time, and the internet's amazing. You know, you can look up tutorials and everything. So that's really good. And I'm doing this thing. Okay, I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a thing. Well, it's called 50 and 52. And basically people just try to read 50 books in 52 weeks, so in a year. But I don't really, I think maybe if I was still in 4th grade when I was really into reading and when I was that kid who literally walked around like this with a book all the time, yeah, I think I could do it then, but now mainly the only time I read is like in bed before I go to sleep, if I even do that, or on the bus, so I don't have as much time as I used to, so I'm doing 40 and 42, which is not really the challenge, but at the same time, you know, it's doable for me, but I still don't really have to compromise too much on the rest of my life. So I like it a lot. I was going to talk about the books, but I didn't have them with me, so that's awkward, but I like it. Yeah, and I'm keeping track in my journal, which I keep. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but I just finished my 9th book, which basically by the end of March I need to finish 10 to be on track, so that's 3 months, and yeah, math. And I'm almost there, you know. I might be a little pressed for time because I just started Things Fall Apart, which we're reading for English, but it's also supposed to be a really good book, and from the 60 pages that I've read so far, it seems really good, so I'm excited about it. I talk about it more, but I haven't finished it yet, so I feel kind of weird, like, I'm not the best at talking about stories because I just sort of talk and talk and I don't really focus on the important parts, as you probably have noticed by now. So people get quite annoyed with me because someone will ask me, like, oh, how was the movie? And I'll be like, great! And then I'll just explain the entire film, like, even the parts that don't matter. So people sort of stop asking me for that. So you don't really want the review. But highlights of the books that I've read so far are probably the first one that I read this year. Credits to Tess, who gave it to me for Christmas. It's called Never Let Me Go. And I won't give too much away because, I don't know, I think it would be fun. I knew how, like, basically the outline, like the main principle sort of thing originally, but they don't explicitly mention it until much later than I thought they would. So I'm kind of curious to think what you guys would think of it. I know there's a movie which I've seen. I watched it after I finished the book, and I cried. But I want to say it was because I just finished the book. Like, the emotions are much stronger in the book than in the movie. So even though I didn't cry when I read the book, it was like I finished the book, took my English exam, because that's just, I had to take it, and then went home and got in my bed and refused to leave my bed for the rest of the day and watched that film and cried a lot. So now all you know about it is that it makes you cry a lot, but it's actually really good. It's, the stereotypical, like, coming-of-age story, but with a twist, and it's really good. Definitely recommend it. The second in chronological order from Sad List, that was, like, my favorite. Like, I like most of them. Like, I'm including books that I'm reading for English, so some of them I'm less thrilled with, like some of them I just had to read, like The Playboy Through Western World is, like, a classic, and that's great, but it was definitely not something I would have read unless I had to for a course. But for the most part, I did really enjoy all of them. The sixth one that I read that was on my high list of good books is Lolita. Yeah, it's widely controversial because, it's about a middle-aged guy who is in lust with a 12-year-old. So, as you can tell, it's very hard to read at points, but it's so beautifully written, like, amazing. Yeah, like I said, like, I want to tell you to go read it, but also, beware, because there definitely is some, triggering points in it, I think. But just, yeah, the way it's written is it's definitely one of the most well-written books I've ever read. And then, those are probably my favorite on the list right now. I just finished Call the Midwife, which there's a series that is based on the book, which is this lady who was a midwife, surprise, in London, like 4 parts of London in the 1950s, wrote a memoir, and now it's made into a BBC series, which I like. So I watched the series first, and then I started reading the book. And if you watch the series, the book is a lot less plot line, because the series has sort of like a plot line, and everyone has their little plots that continue and character development. This one is just a book, where she has maybe like 1 or 2 chapters for each person or, like family. But it's really good. I like it. That used to be one of my favorite genres when I was younger and read all the time. So, yeah, like, I was a big fan of historical fiction, but also, I guess, memoirs. Like, I was a big fan of Anne Frank's diary, stuff like that. So, yeah, always learning, always reading. So, I made that first part of the video on Sunday. Today is Tuesday. Hopefully I'll upload it today. I think the biggest lesson I could get from that is that I can take something that someone would usually say in a sentence and make it 10 minutes long. So, hope you guys stuck with it. Congratulations if you did. Yeah, so I have a few books in mind for what I'm going to read immediately next, but after that I have no idea. So if you have any good book recommendations, please tell me, because I could use them. Yeah, just any genre, anything. I'm open to anything. Thank you.